Sperm whale jizz, fucking gross.
Observe and Report, a classic 2009 film that I can't not stop watching. This is my favorite Seth Rogen movie. This shit is hilarious and awesome at the same time. I never seen something kick ass this much before, like this movie. I mean, there's a lot of movies that kick ass, so this is one of them that actually does kick ass too. And this shit came out the same year as Paul Fart Mall Cop. That piece of shit movie. And that fucked over Observe and Report. Because people are like, oh, Kevin James is a great mall cop character. Oh, look how stupid he is. That's the worst mall cop movie ever. I hated that mall cop movie. This movie should have made more money than Paul Blart. I don't get how Paul Blart made more money than Observe and Report. This movie is way better than Paul Blart Mall Cop. By like high standards, way better. Paul Blart is like a very, very, very low standard film. Somehow this didn't make that much money. This only made like 30 million in the box office. Paul Blart, well, it made like, I forgot how much Paul Blart made. Let me see real quick. Like, it's like crazy money. I remembered. I was like, what is wrong with people? Okay, here we go. Wait, that's IMDb. Shit. Hang on. I'm going Wikipedia. Well, look, $183 million at the box office. That many retards went to go see that movie that year. More than Observe and Report. How is this shit more funnier than Observe and Report? Look, I like Kevin James, but just all in that show, The King of Queens. That's it. Everything else, he acts the same guy and everything. Seth Rogen, he plays a totally different character here. He's not like some pothead in this movie. He plays a mall cop. He's trying to like defend the mall from a bunch of these criminals and shit, but nothing really much happens until like this flasher guy comes around and starts like flashing his dick at everybody, all the ladies. It's like, take this, you bitch. And now he's gotta find a way to catch this motherfucker, which he says. This movie had like better characters, better story, and somehow Paul Blart outbeat this movie somehow. I don't get that. I guess this world's full of more dumbasses than usual. This movie is like Mall Cop meets Taxi Driver, or Seth Rogen meets Taxi Driver or something. Because that's what his character's like. His character's like Taxi Driver. This whole movie's like Taxi Driver. Same shit, just like that character, what's his name? Travis Bickle. Same character. Because there is a lot of shit that like resembles both of those movies. A lot of shit in this movie like resembles the same thing like Taxi Driver did. I mean, this movie had like, a lot of funny characters, a lot of funny stuff going on here. Like, I can't not stop watching this shit. Before, I wasn't crazy about it until I started watching it. Like, wow, this movie is fucking awesome. I was like, how does nobody not know about the Seth Rogen movies? You know, every other Seth Rogen movies, not this. Like, what the fuck? This movie got a 5.8 and Paul Blart got a 5.2. That tells you something right there. But Observe Report should be higher than that. 5.8 is pretty low. It should be like 7 out of 10 or something like that. That's like way too low, or 8 at least. Like, these people didn't know what they're missing out when it came out in 2009. They know what they're missing out on. Like, how do you be that fucking stupid to go with Paul Blart? That's what I'm trying to get with right there. So, you know this movie, like I said, movie stars what's the name? Seth Rogen. He plays Ronnie Barnhart, head of mall security, what he points out when by the news reporters, and they effed this whole shit up. Said he wanted him to start over again. He got mad about it, and his character has bipolar disorder. That's one of the things he has. Also, characters like Michael Pena, he plays Dennis. He's this crazy Mexican dude who ends up like shoplifting and like robbing the whole store, and he leaves to go to Mexico after knocking out Ronnie. He like leaves, and he sends him like envelope mail saying he apologizes and all that. He wanted him to come down to Mexico and hang out in Mexico. Also, you know, Ray Liotta, he plays a Detective Harrison. He's the detective, which Ronnie annoys the hell out of him. And, you know, Ray Liotta's character can't stand him. Anna Faris plays Brandy, this slut chick who works at this makeup department with this fruity guy. Dan Bacadal, who plays Mark, the manager of the mall. He get tired of Ronnie's stuff also. And also there's Jesse Plemons. You remember him from Breaking Bad, which he does later on after this movie. He plays Charles, one of the new mall security guys they just hired. Yeah, you remember him. He played, like I said, he played, what's his character name? From Breaking Bad. He's Uncle Jack's nephew. Let's just go with that for right now. He's Uncle Jack's nephew, Todd. Yeah, there we go, Todd. This is before he became Todd. He was just a nobody then. And then he had like all these other crazy roles after Breaking Bad. After he did the Breaking Bad show. But every single scene in this movie is like really fucking hilarious, man. Like every scene's funny as shit. Like I like non-stop laughing. I can't stop laughing at this shit. I don't get how this movie failed the box office. I don't get it. Like, how is Paul Blart more bigger than Observer Report? This is Seth Rogen's best movie, in my opinion. This is his best movie. Somehow all these freaking Paul Blart beats of that makes no sense. Oh, because Kevin James is from The King of Queens, because he's no more noticeable from King of Queens. Whatever. I mean, that's the only good thing he actually did was King of Queens. That's it. Everything else, like freaking Grown Ups, that movie sucked. What was it? Zookeeper sucked. Here Comes the Boom sucked. Like all his movies sucked ass. All his standalone films. Yeah, I know Grown Up's not a standalone film, but I'm just saying. God, that's like, Jesus, those movies are bad. I mean, Zookeeper, I mean, there's like one part funny where he's hanging out with this gorilla or something like that at this Denny's or something like that. That shit was funny though. But that's about it. But this, like, I still don't understand how this beat Observer Report, man. This movie's a classic. Like, I cannot stop watching this shit. It's just like too funny. Like, there's other scenes like, you know, Aziz Ansari, if I pronounce his name right, you know, from Park and Recreation, that Indian dude, the Indian comedian. He's funny as shit in this movie. It's like, he's one of the best parts of this movie. He plays Saddam, and freaking like Seth Rogen's Ronnie Barnhart. Ronnie thinks freaking Saddam is like a criminal. He discovers his plot to blow up the Chick-fil-A, which, you know, Aziz Ansari says. He's like, why the fuck would I blow up Chick-fil-A? It's fucking delicious. Like, that shit was so fucking hilarious. Especially when I was freaking Ronnie and Detective Harrison walk up to him, and like Ronnie's like, what's up Saddam? The fuck do you want, Ronnie? I'm gonna face the fucking music's what I want. That whole shit was hilarious. Especially before, he was like, he's putting all this I forgot, this soap stuff on this lady. He's like, I'm gonna give you a bubble bath, cover you those breasts with some bubbles. Like, that shit was fucking funny too. I mean, I know the whole situation with Aziz Ansari, with the whole sexual allegations or something like that. I don't think he really did that shit anyway. I think he's some kind of setup or something, like to screw him over. Something must have happened or something. Someone must have fucked him over and ruined his career. Because that guy's hilarious. Like, why the fuck would they do that to him like that though, man? Because I don't know, Kanye ain't the same without that dude. Like, ever since that happened, like, he lost all his movie roles, future movie roles, and future TV show roles, all because some dumb bitch like fucked him over. I think he like broke up with her one time. She got pissed off and say he like sexually harassed her or something, and that's like really fucked him over. Like, that's like really bullshit. Like all that shit happened back in the day. I mean, I gotta say like Harvey Weinstein or Jeffrey Epstein or something like that, but that dude didn't really do anything, man. He's not like Bill Cosby or freaking Louis C.K. I mean, Louis C.K. people were okay with him jerking off from their faces. They said it's okay, sure, do it. So he does it. Like, I don't get how that's a big deal. They say it's okay, but whatever. That's what I read. So yeah, Aziz Ansari deserves to come back and do more movies again. That guy deserves it. All these fucking losers think he's like a bad person. He's not Adolf Hitler. He didn't do nothing wrong. The chick that's freaking framed him or something. He didn't do nothing wrong. But he was the best part of this movie. I swear to God, he was hilarious. Especially freaking Ronnie and Saddam had like a fuck you competition with each other. Like, fuck you, Ronnie. Fuck you. Like, they keep saying to each other back and forth. And they did it like in a quiet, muted way. They keep saying F you, making those faces and stuff. That shit was so hilarious. And like Ronnie like screwed up Detective Harrison and Ray Liotta's investigation, and Ray Liotta like flips out at him, and the manager of the mall's room, he started like shouting at him, calling him a retard, called Ronnie a retard and shit. I was like, that was so hilarious. Then like Ronnie decided, like, you know what? Detective Harrison got me an idea. I should become a real cop. So he decides, you know, to go to the freaking the police station to get a real officer job and get the applications from the black guy. And he's started doing it on the paper and writing all this shit down. And he wants to go for a ride along. That's what the guy told him to give him the application. He needs to go somewhere for a ride along. So he gets Detective Harrison. He goes in the back of the seat and he scares the shit out of him. It's like, Jesus Christ, why you scared the fucking shit out of me? Then he freaking takes his ass to this ghetto ass freaking town or something like that. And people pointed out that's the same scene from Breaking Bad where, you know, the guy, what's his name, Combo gets smoked or something like that. So that's one of the scenes when Combo got smoked by that kid. Someone pointed that out in one of the comments I read. I don't know if that's actually true, but that's actually, wow, more Breaking Bad stuff in this. So that now freaking Ronnie Barnhart catches this kid trying to sell drugs to him, and freaking Danny McBride comes up with his kid's face on his belly, a tattoo. He's like, "This is my seed." All that shit, like talking shit. He got a gun in the Ronnie's face. I pull a gun. I want you to suck this gun hard. So that Ronnie pulled out his stick and bam, hit him in the fucking ankle and beat everyone's ass with it. And he like Ronnie's a badass in this movie, man. He beats everyone's ass in this movie. Then freaking he brings the kid to the freaking police station and tells him, "Sit the fuck down." It's like shouting at the kid. Then freaking like Detective Harrison was like, before that he was like talking to his cop buddies and all that, saying like, "Yeah, fuck him. I hope he does get fucking killed by those people out there." Like laughing, and like his buddies like laughing and shit because you know that shit's hilarious. How the guy bugs it all the time, Roddy. And there's a fight like hilarious. And freaking Ronnie, like I said, Ronnie shows up. Freaking Detective Harrison is like, "Oh yeah, what are you gonna do about it?" So he think Ronnie's pissed off, ready to fight him, but he actually thanks him for it. He like gives him a hug because he does some kind of training thing for cops or something like that. That's what Ronnie thought. He gave him a hug, and the guys are still laughing because he's like hugging him and shit. His cop buddies. So, man, this whole movie is hilarious, man. Especially when Ronnie and Dennis. Michael Pena's character, both of those two go like beat the shit out of the skateboard kids with skateboards, beat the shit out because they're like loitering and hanging out skateboarding and putting spray paint on the freaking on the signs and shit, and then he beat the shit out of them for doing that. That was like hilarious too, man. Every scene in this movie is great. And like then Ronnie like stopped taking his bipolar pills after, you know, he went on a date with Anna Faris because he gave to her on his date and shit. So he's like, you know what, fuck it, I don't need these anymore. So every did that, he started becoming more crazier and crazier now. He started getting crazier now ever since he went off his bipolar pills. I mean, he did pass all his courses for, you know, to become a police officer, but he fucked up his evaluation thing with the lady. He told him all this. He told her way too much information. He told her way too much information about he's off the pills. He don't take his bipolar pills anymore and all this. Like she never told her that shit. He's like too excited about being a cop. But he should have realized he's trying to tell all that shit to her. He told her he wanted to fucking murder people with a shotgun or something like that, more than criminals and shit. Well, like why do you tell her things like that? you think you're a fucking crazy bastard, which you are. But he told her anyways. Like that's why he didn't get the freaking the cop job. So he was pissed off. That's what Ray Liotta told him, and Ray Liotta actually felt bad for him too. He wasn't like happy for it. He actually felt bad, and that's pretty realistic too. And his freaking cop buddy was like hiding in the freaking closet. You know, he came out. He was like, "Wow, you know this. I can't really laugh at this. This makes me feel bad. I'm just gonna walk away." So Ryan feels bad. He's pissed off also, and he back being a mall cop again after celebrating a gun cake with his mall cop buddies, and now he's like pissed off and shit, getting back at everyone. Especially one of the guys was one of them. Because like I said, he's off his bipolar pills. Now he's going crazy. It's going even worse now. It's like one of the guys like they put what's the thing? They put a lock on his tire so he can't drive anymore. I forgot what you call those things. But yeah, he put that on purpose. It was like in the back of the mall or something like that. The guy's like, "You put that thing on my car? Are you crazy?" He made it go crazy, and he told Charles to tell him to calm down and shout at him. He's like, "I don't want to shout at him." And like Ryan's like, "Calm the fuck down." The guy's like, "Fuck you." So Ryan's like, "Oh fuck me." He's like, "Take out your fucking taser, Charles." You take out his taser, like fucking tase the guy. "You got more of that, motherfucker." Oh my god, man. Like our part's like with freaking Patton Oswalt. Like, Patton Oswalt being a fucking douchebag to the blonde chick who was like handicapped and she can't really walk or anything. It's like that's pretty fucked up. Make fun of handicapped people like that. Cause she messed. I forgot what happened with her. She's like got surgery on her foot or something like that, waiting to heal, and she's stuck in a wheelchair or something. Like he's being an asshole. And Ryan had enough of his bullshit. She started crying and shit. She goes up back and like trying to shove his head in the freaking donut furnace or something like that. It's like, get in there, you try something again, I'll fucking murder you. He's like, he scared the shit out of fucking Patton Oswalt. I find it funny how Patton Oswalt is in this movie but not in Paul Blart Mall Cop, because Patton Oswalt did a show with Kevin James called The King of Queens, so I'm surprised to see him in Observer Report more than the Paul Blart Mall Cop, which I said Paul Mall Cop sucks. But anyways, he teaches him a lesson and did the right thing for his girlfriend in the future, which he should have went with her in the first place, not Anna Faris, because Anna Faris like fucks him over because she's a slut, basically. You know, also another guy from Breaking Bad was in this movie. Also, David House. He was the guy to get the applications to Ronnie, the cop to get the applications to Ronnie. He was in here. He was in the Breaking Bad also. He played Heisenberg's doctor. What the hell is going on with these Breaking Bad actors in here in this Breaking Bad location? Something sounds very familiar. He also died too, man. That sucks. Rest in peace to him. Yeah, I know he died. He looked just like Dr. Dre too, man. Damn, that's a shame. Oh yeah, Ronnie, Seth Rogen, Ronnie, his character has his mom who's an alcoholic. She always gets drunk and knocked out on the floor, and she falls asleep. He puts covers on her. Seems like that. She's not a bad character. She's kind of funny. Then later on, Seth Rogen and Michael Pena, Ronnie and Dennis decided to go goof off and snort cocaine and do a bunch of crazy shit, like freaking ride on the kiddie choo-choo train, beat the shit out of these skateboarding kids with their own skateboards, beat the shit out of them because they're loitering and causing vandalism and stuff. So they deserve that. Fuck those teenage kids. I'd beat the shit on their freaking skateboard too, and ride my go-kart on them and shit. I'd do the same shit. Fucking that you can't do shit like that. that shit was funny as fuck though. Beat the shit with skateboards and shit, and kick them. I find ladies could beat up little kids. Why can't be more movies like that to beat the shit out of teenagers? Grown men beat up teenagers. Everything's like too realistic now these days. We had to make it realistic because it's better being realistic. It's a movie. Why did it be realistic? Make it hilarious. Like in the one I've seen, like you keep writing shit on the wall, and one's like, I forgot. Like they're like writing shit in the scene like "fuck you" on there. I think they draw a penis on there on the wall, and like they're all like fucked up on drugs and shit. Like they keep hopping like hopping around and shit, like playing freaking what's the game called? The foosball or whatever you call it, shit. Throw the balls up to the whole thing or some shit, and they're cheating the game and shit. And like they go in the freaking girls' freaking changing room and take pictures of them, their boobs and shit. I was like, that shit is funny, man. Man, that movie is like fucking wild, man. One bitch of shit I watched. You don't make movies like this anymore. They beat the shit out of people and act like assholes and shit. Then later on, you know, Dennis betrays Ronnie and knocks him out, and like, he steals the money out of the safe and gets the hell out of here and takes the mall car and drives out of the mall and bashes the freaking breaks the door window. I said door window. The glass door. He breaks right through it. Like, so that shit was funny as fuck. So Ronnie gets betrayed. And he decides like it's time for me to go into the skies. He was like telling freaking the manager of the mall. He's like, what are you talking about, Roddy? So I had no choice. Go be under the skies. And he's telling him about. I'm just your average mall customer. Because Ronnie thinks of the stupidest way possible. Because you know this is the last straw. First, this freaking flasher comes by showing his dick to all these chicks, flashing them with his dick. Then his own best friend decides to become a shoplifter and robs the whole mall and escape to Mexico. He said, now I had enough. So he decided to go into the skies and shit. Show him acting stupid and when he's getting into the skies, he's like he's shooting a gun or something with his fingers, and like, and it goes back to the manager of the mall. He's like, "Are you fucking retarded, Roddy?" I was like, I was bust out laughing at that part. Like, is he retarded? Like, he's like Black Ops shit and all that. I mean, this is my Black Ops disguise and shit. I'm just your average mall customer. He's just like an average mall customer walking down the mall and shit, investigating, seeing if someone got robbed a store and all that. Like, come on, like, really? And he's narrating like he's Batman or something. Like, he's sitting there reading the newspaper and he's like on top of the mall roof. He's like, there's freaking binoculars at night. I was like, what the fuck? He's looking through the car door and shit. Finds out his so-called quote-unquote girlfriend is begging his so-called we used to all think he's a gay guy until you find out he was fucking Anna Faris. And he was crying when he said his narration. He was crying his eyeballs out, and he says, "Nothing can hurt me." In the narration, like, he's crying his eyeballs out. He said, "Nothing can hurt me." That's fucking bullshit. So he walks down to the mall. He goes to where his so-called girlfriend's at. He grabs something. I forget. He grabs like almost some kind of glass tray and smashes it in another glass. What all this shit is at. He's like, "You broke my heart. You did. You fucking bitch." He's like funny. Everybody was like staring at him. He's like, "You blew my cover." So that now they want him to leave the mall now and give up his shit. That's what the manager wants, and that's what his cop buddies are telling him, that you gotta leave now, man. He's like pissed off. He's like, "No, I'm not going nowhere. This is my mall." He's like, he runs away and shit. He's like still there, like working out at night and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Why's that have to have bipolar disorder? Act crazy as shit. Dude think he's fucking Batman. Then Detective Harrison shows up with all the cops and shit. This is the best part of the movie. This is one of the best parts of the movie also. This big fight scene with the cops and shit. He's like, "Detective Harrison, we used to be brothers of the badge. How the fuck do you sleep at night?" He's like, "Look, Ronnie, can we go outside, we can talk?" He's like, "No, this is my mall." He's like, "You want to get hurt, Ronnie? You got enough pigs to hurt me." He's like, "You sure about that?" He can take out his flashlight. "How would we find out, huh?" And Detective Harrison's like, "Alright, go get him." So all the cops come at him and he starts bashing him with the flashlight, boom, 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 playing that Flash Gordon music. And that shit was so awesome. He beat everyone ass, but they didn't all jump on top of him. And then Charles jump on top of all the cops and he helps him not get out of it. And then he starts fighting Detective Harrison. I'm like, oh, time to fight Detective Harrison. Like, boom, boom. He started to fight Detective Harrison. Detective Harrison grabs the freaking sign and bashes it at Ronnie's face. And like Ryan loses the fight after like he's all tired of fighting those other cops. If he wants to fight those other cops, he probably would beat Detective Harrison. He probably would have beat him. He wants to fight all those cops jumping on top of him. still gets jumped after Tucker Harrison beat his ass, and he gets jumped by the other cops. That was like hilarious. It was like still jumping him. Then he take his ass out. He's all cuffed in slow motion. It's like his mouth's bleeding and shit. Like that's like a badass scene, man. That was some Taxi Driver level shit. You don't see movies like that anymore. Like I said, like if there was like no other cops in that mall, it was just him, Detective Harrison fighting. He would have won that fight, Ronnie. I think he would have won that fight. Because those cops tired him out. So that now you don't have a job anymore where he's like hanging out. Well, right now he just hang out in his house, all bandaged up, his face all bandaged up, cuts and bruises and shit. And he's like thinking about shit, and then he goes back to the mall and hang out with the red-haired chick, and he's like, he find out who he really likes. It was the coffee chick the whole time. He was sitting next to the red-haired chick. Yeah, she was a coffee chick. Yeah, I forgot to mention. And she can walk again. Then the freaking Flash comes out of nowhere and shows his dick. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" They slow motion chase and playing that music, City Wolf, and I was like, that was a great soundtrack to play. That he's chasing after him in slow motion. Then Ronnie stops and like he punches the shit out of Saddam in slow motion. I was like, that was hilarious out of nowhere, man. That was funny as fuck. It was like, fuck to Saddam. He punched him in slow motion. You know, got a restraining order. He's like, you don't give a fuck about restraining orders. Like, fuck that shit. The next scene, then like he's like, I got a way to catch this guy. So he goes to like a shortcut to catch him, and all that. And freaking now this pervert flasher guy, now he's go back to Anna Faris again and show his dick to her again, just to fuck with her. So now then Ronnie comes out of nowhere and boom, shoots him in the chest with a gun. I was like, that was awesome, badass Ronnie. And the manager's like, ah, come on, god damn it, Ronnie. But he was still alive though. He wake up, and freaking the mall cops come in and take his ass in, and you know Ronnie saved the day. And he's go tell the other officers like, fuck you. Tell her, I don't want this job. Fuck you. I'm taking my mall cop job. And then, you know, the news reporters show up, and him and his buddies right there with him, and then he's like talking. He's like feel all heroic about it. He shot the Flasher. That's so hilarious. He feels heroic. She shot the Flasher, caught him. Oh man. I don't know. It would have been funny if he shot his dick off, but yeah, it's whatever. You know, it's not a big deal. The other part was pretty aggravating. He shot him in the chest. That shit was funny as fuck, though. This is a classic fucking movie, man. Y'all missing out. This is my favorite Seth Rogen movie. Yeah, there's other ones like Pineapple Express, This Is the End, The Interview, but this right here, this is his own standalone movie. This doesn't have James Franco in it or something. This is a standalone movie. It's just him and Michael Pena and Ray Liotta. So, if you haven't seen this movie, go check it out. This is just way better than Paul Blart Mall Cop. Way better. And somehow this shit beat it in the box office. What the fuck is wrong with people? $130 million in the box office for Paul Blart Mall Cop. This only just made $27 million. What the hell is that shit, man? Are you shitting me? Paul Blart sucks. Somehow people forgot about this movie. This movie should have made $150 million. Like, that's bullshit. All these great actors in here and all that. Great storyline. Great characters. You know, Ronnie's crazy bipolar issues is funny. It's just like fucking Taxi Driver, how everything acts in this film. This movie was definitely like Taxi Driver. It has that Taxi Driver vibe. That's why I really like this film. Because of that. And also, like I said, it's hilarious. Saddam's like one of the best parts of this movie, besides like Dennis and Ronnie. But yeah, also Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta is pretty hilarious too. But that sucks for Aziz Ansari, man. Aziz Ansari deserves his career back. My bad. I think it's Aziz Ansari. I think I pronounced his name. Aziz Ansari. He even played the Indian guy Saddam. He was the best. He was one of the best characters in this movie. Aziz Ansari. Those bitches really fucked him over though. Like, he deserves his career back, man. That's like so bullshit. It's not like he killed anybody. It's like so dumb. He's not like he's Bill Cosby or Jeffrey Epstein or Harvey Weinstein. Like, he's like not one of those fucking people. Like, that's so bullshit. He can do no fucking anything wrong. Like, give his career back. He's a funny ass dude. Last time I remember, he did like a stand up for Netflix. That's so lame what they did to him. He's a funny ass dude. Funny ass Indian. I think he's my favorite Indian comedian. Besides the other guy who's Indian too. He's from what's that movie? Same movie with Seth Rogen too. I forgot what that's called. It's a failed Kevin Smith movie. The only part that was good. Oh yeah, Zack and Mary make a porno. The only part I liked that movie was the beginning. That's it. Everything else sucked ass. The beginning was hilarious. The coffee shop, and you know, freaking I think his name was Jerry Benab. That's what his name was. Jerry Benab, my other favorite Indian comedian. He was like funny as fuck. What things he says in that part. Oh, go look at that beginning of that movie where just type in Zack and Mary like coffee shop. No. Type in Zack and Mary Black Friday. Type that in. You'll see that part. He's arguing with Craig Robinson. That shit. He's like fucking hilarious. That dude deserves more roles. He's a funny ass Indian dude. Besides Aziz Ansari. God damn, man, this is a fucking masterpiece, man. It's just telling you my top 10 favorite comedies, top 10 or top 5, or maybe top 3. Top 3 could be there too. Because I know I have Ted in there too. Ted from Seth MacFarlane's Ted, the teddy bear with Mark Wahlberg. Funny ass movie. I don't understand how people can shit on Ted. How the Ted sucks? Ted's hilarious, man. Funny ass teddy bear. I don't think did I miss any other parts in this movie? I remembered. Like, there's so many funny shit. I might have missed some things, I think. Dennis, man. Fucking Dennis. Oh my god. Dennis is like fucking hilarious, man. That's just how he fucking talks and shit. That's the way he fucking talks. Funny as shit. Yeah, I think that's about it for right now, because that's all I got to say. The movie is awesome, man. Like, every scene was great. Every scene's funny as fuck. We don't see movies like this anymore, man. Everything like sucks ass now. You don't see movies like this anymore. Oh yeah, I forgot. I think like what's his name? Michael Penna's character send like Ronnie, Seth Rogen's character, envelope. Give him a message saying that he's in Mexico. He's hanging out. Tell him he's sorry what he did to him and shit. I was like, that shit was funny too. So he should come down here sometime and shit. Imagine that. Imagine Ryan come down here and hang out with Dennis. That'd be funny as fuck. He was like riding his bike when he's like thinking his head about it. Postcard, yeah, it was postcard. And like another scene, like they're on the escalator and like making all these faces and shit and all that. Freaking Dennis in the shades, like move his head back and forth on the escalator, and like Ryan has arms crossed. And like Charles, Jesse Plemons, like he's like confused, like what the hell's going on here? Like what are we doing on the escalator? What are we doing? Like Brian like has arm crossed and shit, man. And then they do have a meeting before that. They had like a meeting, and Charles is the new guy. He just got off his other job to be the new freaking mall cop. And tell them, put their hands together and shit. Let's do it, teammates and shit, whatever, what it was. He's like, do I have to do this, man? He's like, come on, buddy. Funny as fuck, man. I don't understand how Paul Blart beat this movie, man. I don't understand the whole thing with Kevin James Paul Blart. That movie sucked ass. They only got like 1 or 2 or 3 chuckles out of that movie for me. That's it. Everything else is so dumb. People are like, oh, this movie's so funny. Let's give it a sequel. And somebody got a sequel. Why? To a bad movie get a bad sequel? Does that make any sense? A bad original film gets a bad sequel. None of Kevin James movies are good. The only thing he did good in his career was that TV show, The King of Queens. That's it. Because he's the same guy in every movie. People say Seth Rogen's the same guy in every movie. Not really. There's times he changes his character. Yeah, he may look the same guy and everything, but this right here, he don't have his glasses and his freaking his curly hair and shit in here. He's like a regular dude being a mall cop. So he's a different character here than his other characters. And look at Pineapple Express. He was a freaking drug dealer selling weed and shit. Well, no, wait, no. I think he was working with James Franco doing that shit. So James Franco was really just a supplier. But yeah, he was a different character there too. And also Superbad. He played a real cop in there. He was a real cop in Superbad. I forgot his character name was in that movie. But he was funny as fuck in there too. So yeah, he played different characters. He's not like Kevin James. Kevin James is like the same guy. You put a freaking mustache on Kevin James, he's still the same guy. You put freaking like a big you chase his face around, he's still Kevin James. Even Seth Rogen was pissed off. Because I remember I watched the interview where he talked about Observer Report. He was like pissed off that Paul Blart Mall Cop beat Observer Report. He was like shocked about it. He was like pissed off. He's like, that fucker. He was saying like he was mad about that shit too. Like how the hell did that movie beat Observer Report? He was like mad about it in the interview. He was saying that fucker or whatever he said. He was like mad as hell about it. I don't blame him because Paul Blart sucked. This movie actually had a better written story. It actually had good characters and good plot and everything. Good actors. Well, what did Paul Blart have? One of them kids from Modern Family or something, or was the other guy? I forgot his freaking name was. He was in like The Other Guys. September 08. They got the Bobby Cannavale. That's all they got. They don't got like Ray Liotta or Anna Faris or Michael Pena. They don't have none of those actors in there. Jesse Plemons. No. This movie should have had more money than that movie. I don't get the hype for Paul Blart. That movie was terrible. I don't know what kind of drugs they're on in 2009, but they got to lay off of that. Oh yeah, Colette Wolfe played the coffee chick. The Ryan's supposed to go with that chick instead of Anna Faris' slutty character. And she does a pretty good job playing the character, Colette Wolfe. She did a pretty good job. Not like the chick in Paul Blart Mall Cop, I'll tell you that. Freaking his lover in that movie. Fuck, all those characters suck in that movie, man. It's like so terrible. Maybe I should do a review on that certainly. I'll do a review on Paul Blart. I don't even want to do it, but still, that movie was so terrible. I should do it. God, that movie was bad, man. Dan Backahall did good. Backadahl, he did good as the manager of the mall. He played a good role in that movie. He did other things too. He did really well in. Well, like I said, I think that's it for right now. I think I talked about enough. Great film. My favorite Seth Rogen film.